Welcome everyone to Doga Yoga. My name is Melody and today we're doing a beautiful fast flowing inhale and exhale class. So instead of moving forward and back on our mat, we're going to go side to side similar, and we're actually going to start off with some moon salutations just to mix it up a little bit this month. So come on down, lay your mat lengthways instead of forward and back, long ways facing the camera. Make sure the long edge is facing the camera. Sit on down, come into cross-legged. Now, as always, you can sit on a pillow, a block, whatever you need to make yourself super comfy here. You might have one foot in, you might have one foot coming over your bottom ankle, coming into your half lotus. Just find what feels good. We'll just start to settle into this place, settle onto the mat today. And start to focus on the rise and fall of our breath. Taking a few inhales and exhales. Bringing your awareness into that beautiful rise and that beautiful fall. That beautiful filling up. And that beautiful letting go. Start to notice yourself soften, settle, and observe your breath today. Inhale, feel the belly, the ribs, the collarbones rise, filling up all three chambers. And exhale, feel the ribs, the belly, the collarbones drop. Inhale. And exhale. Start to notice how your breath is showing up for you on the mat today. Whatever it's doing is perfect. We just observe whether it's fast or slow, deep or shallow. Notice how you're feeling physically. Are you tense and tight, clenching, holding on? Or are you relaxed and soft? Gently start to bring little movements into the body. I just want us to sway side to side really gently. And just in the chest forward, just micro and then back. Rocking onto our tailbone, forward and back. Flow here, just move side to side, forward and back. In our own pace, with the rise and fall of our breath. And when you're ready, just come back to center, come back to stillness and try and lengthen the spine. Inhale, grow taller from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And exhale, soften. Inhale, grow taller from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Chin slightly comes towards our chest. And soften. Inhale. And exhale. When we're ready, we're gently going to send our shoulders forward. So send them towards the camera, rise them up towards your ears, and then squeeze the shoulder blades, send them back and down. So we're taking nice shoulder circles to wake up here today. Gently, especially if you're feeling twinging or any sensitivity here. Forward, up towards the ears, as gentle or as vigorous as you like. And then back and down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, opening up the chest here. It's kind of like a little cow pose. Forward, up, back and away. One more, forward, hold here for a moment. Squeeze back and away. So nice. And take our hands wide here. So reach our fingertips as far as they can, but still be touching on the mat. So really push down into all 5 fingertips here. Push down into the pinky fingers and feel your chest naturally open here. You'll feel yourself naturally lean back a little bit more than you would have previous. Often we hunch here trying to keep ourselves stable because our core isn't strong and we haven't opened up our shoulders. So press into the pinky fingers here, press into the fingertips, feel yourself grow up, open up the collarbones, feel them widen and breathe. Inhale. And exhale. So the arms are active here. We're shining the elbow creases forward. You feel some activity here. As we open and soften the breath. When we're ready, we're going to take our fingertips off the ground, reach them to the sides of the room or the sides of the mat. And then take them up overhead, fingertips touch. And gently bring it back to heart center. 2 more like that. Big arm circle. Find that same straightness you did when your pinky fingers were pressing into the ground. Shoulder blades down the back. Fingers touch. And back to heart center. 1 more. Inhale. Fingertips touch. Hold here. And just cross the hands, interlace the fingers. The middles of the wrists or our wrists are touching. Reach high here, squeeze the biceps in towards the ears and the shoulder blades down the back and breathe. When we're ready, we're going to unclasp the hands, reach high, and we're going to clasp them the other way. So whatever hand was back, go forward, forward, back, doesn't matter. Reach high and you'll feel a slightly different stretch in the other shoulder. Squeeze the biceps in towards the ears, melt the shoulder blades down the back, open up the chest. Our neck is always long here. If you feel pinching or tightness, back out. And when ready, release the hands. Take the fingers towards the sky. We're going to interlace them here. And just bring our chin with our shoulder blades down the back towards our chest. And if you'd like to, bring the hands down, fingertips are still clasped, onto the back of the head. So we're not forcing here, we're just letting gravity take its toll. We're just allowing the arms to relax. The shoulder blades are still down the back, so we're not curving the spine. And just feel gravity do its work. Feel that gentle weight of your arms help your neck. Gently stretch, gently release. Keep an eye, or just keep your focus back on that breath. Noticing your inhales and exhales. See if they're starting to deepen and slow. You might like to start even counting your inhale. And seeing if you can make your exhale just as long. Cultivating your beautiful Raja Pranayama, your royal yogic breath. All the while grounding onto your mat. Grounding into the here and now. Feel thoughts wandering this way and that. Use your breath as your cornerstone. Use it to bring you back down into the present. Onto your mat today. It's the only place you need to be, my friends, is in the here and now. When we're ready, we're super gently going to unclasp our hands, head up, and we're going to take our hands back, press our pinkies into the earth, fingertips into the earth, shine the elbow creases forward and open. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So nice. We're going to walk our hands in front of us. Now if you're in half lotus or in lotus, uncross those feet or take those feet off. And just come on over Sending your feet towards the back of the mat. The knees are in the middle. We're just going to tuck our toes under here and come into a seated position. So toes, or tops of the toes, are pressing into the earth. Our hips are sitting onto our heels here. And you might have your hands down, taking quite a bit of the weight. We might have a block here underneath our hips, taking the weight. Or we might be like, yep, my ankles are awesome today, and the tops of my feet are awesome, or the bottoms of my feet are awesome. And walk our hands up onto our thighs and find this nice straightness in the spine. Shoulder blades are down the back, my friends. We're not hunching here. Open up and feel that gentle tuck of the tailbone. So we're not creating this giant arch in the back, we're creating that nice straight line. Inhale. And exhale wherever we are. Inhale. And exhale. And whatever version you're at is perfect. It's so beautiful, so nourishing on our ankles, our feet, opening up muscles that are often clenched or shoved inside shoes all day. So just notice where we are with the rise and fall of our breath. When we're ready, our hands are going to come in front of us. We're going to rise on up onto our tippy toes here, squeeze our knees together, and we might just be here, or we might rise on up, balancing on our toes, finding that nice straight spine again. Now you might fall out, you might be like, not happening, or you might love it. So just find where feels good. Press into the thighs. We're going to rise on up, come into standing however you can. So come into the middle of your mat, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. So there's our thumb on our sternum here. Feet hip distance, push into the big toes, fan out those little toes. And I want us to activate. I want us to be strong, ground down, kneecaps, squeeze them, tuck our tailbone under, activate our glutes, and feel the upper carriage naturally lift. Feel this lift in the lower abdomen, in the ribs, rising or growing taller. Our shoulder blades roll down the back. Our palms go forward into our mountain pose. Inhale, grow taller from the backs of the heels all the way to the crown of the head. And soften. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale once more. Really activate everything. Core is on, knees are on, glutes are on, arms are on. And just allow the body to just come back into its natural state. And just feel what happens there. Does a hip go straight this way? Do we have that tendency? Do we send a shoulder back? Just notice and just move. Start to wriggle the hips side to side, walk the hands, rock them. Just notice the idiosyncrasies and the beauty of your own body. It's completely unique. There's not another like you in this whole world. So we're going to come back to center, push into our big toes once more. Big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. Now hold them here. I want us to squeeze our biceps in, find length, and just take our feet wide. Now our palms go wide here, toes turned out slightly, pushing into the outside edges of our feet, into our star pose. Inhale, I want us to really take up space here, find length, and soften. Squeeze the kneecaps, squeeze the glutes, grow tall, take up space. Be like, I own this. This is my time, my space. Reach and soften. Reach once more and soften. So the hands are going to come down onto our hips. We're going to turn our right toes, I'll mirror you, right toes parallel to the short edge of your mat. The left toes go to the other short edge of your mat, and the heel to arch alignment. So we're going to take our time here. We're going to send our left hand forward, and we're going to keep our body towards the camera, towards the long edge. Reach forward as far as we can, sending this back hip back, and then place the hand down. Now you might just be here with a hand on the thigh or the shin, or you might start to lift that top hand up. This bottom hand can come down a bit more into the shin or even onto the ground into our first Trikonasana today. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under, activate this front kneecap, find length and soften. Find length and soften. Find length and soften. Now we're going to be super gentle with our first one. We're going to rotate these top fingertips down towards our bottom fingertips. So take a circle. We're going to bend this front knee, frame this foot, come onto the back toes. I'm going to sink this back knee down into a lunge. So take our time here. So we're coming up onto our fingertips instead of putting weight into our hands. Our shoulder blades are going down the back and we're sending our tailbone down. Breathing here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. When we're ready, we're going to walk our left fingertips towards the right, so towards the camera, and we're going to shimmy our way over into the other side into a lunge. So come onto that back foot, walk the feet around, sink that back knee down, and we're going to come into our lunge on the other side. So come up onto our fingertips, shoulder blades down the back. Open up the chest here and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now you've probably guessed it right by now. We're going to come into our Trikonasana next. So we're going to lift this back knee up, come on to the outside edge of that back foot so that's parallel to the short edge of our mat. We're going to gently straighten our front leg. So you might have to lift up a bit to do this, or you might be able to keep this hand down, straighten this front leg, and then we're going to peel our top hand towards the sky, revolving the body towards the side of the room. Inhale, finding length, revolving and softening. Revolving, finding length from the tailbone to the crown of the head and softening. Inhale and exhale. Now when we're ready, we're going to push into this front big toe, activate this kneecap, come on up. Turn the toes towards the front of the room, open up, big star pose, so nice. Hands up overhead, fingertips touch. Feet in and hands back to heart center. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So we know what we're doing in our body now, so we're going to go a little bit quicker. So just go to wherever feels good and always be gentle with our hips and our knees, especially opening them up side to side. So big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. And exhale, come into our star pose. Inhale, we're going to turn our feet into our Trikonasana. And exhale, send this top hand forward, reach down, or bottom hand forward and reach the top hand high. Inhale, find length in the spine. Feel the hip stretch in our hip here. Lean back as far as we can and soften. Inhale, lengthen once more, and exhale, we're going to spiral this top hand down, coming into our lunge. So you might need to step that back foot down, wriggle it, get that knee down. All I want is knee to ankle alignment here. Onto the fingertips, opening up the chest here, and breathe. Inhale, find the length, and soften. Inhale, and soften. We're going to walk the hands to the front of the mat, shimmy on over as quickly or slowly as you need into that lunge on the other side. So option now here to keep this back knee up. Squeeze that kneecap and push the back heel away. Coming onto the fingertips and open up the chest. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Come on to the outside edge of that back foot, heel to arch alignment, lengthen our front leg. Peel our top hand towards the sky, open the body towards the side of the room, Trikonasana. Shoulder blades are down the back, core is on, tailbone is tucked. Find length and soften. Find length and soften. Now we're going to push into that front big toe, activate this kneecap, rise on up, toes turn towards the front of the mat, reach high, star, take up space. Fingertips touch overhead, feet come in. And hands come back to heart center. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And our next inhale, we'll take one big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. Exhale, star. Inhale, we're going to come into our Trikonasana at the other side. So right toes out, left foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. And reach forward. Inhale, rise that back hand towards the sky, coming into a Trikonasana. And exhale, we're going to bring this top hand down, come into our lunge. Breathing here for 2. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to walk our hands around on our next inhale, coming into our lunge on the other side, opening up the chest once more here. Fingertips, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to plant the hands a little bit, come onto the outside edge of that back foot, push into that front knee, and reach our top hand towards the sky. Peel the body open and breathe. Inhale, find length in the spine, shoulder blades down the back, and soften. Inhale and exhale. So you shouldn't be able to put weight into this ankle. The core and the upper carriage is holding itself because the legs are strong. So revolve, and you might even send your gaze towards those top fingertips. Now we're going to push into this bottom toe, activate this knee, rise on up, turn the toes to the long edge of the mat, heels slightly in, toes out, reach star pose. Fingertips up overhead, and exhale, feet in and hands back to heart center. Breathe here, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. And our next inhale, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. And exhale, open up to our star pose once more. Inhale, come on into our feet, our Trikonasana feet. And exhale, reach forward, take that top hand up. Inhale, find length. And exhale, we're going to spiral this top hand down, come into our lunge. Breathing here for 2. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. When we're ready, we're going to take our hands towards the front. On our next inhale, walk ourselves around, come back into our lunge, lowering that back knee down or keeping it up. Onto the fingertips, 2 breaths. Filling up the body with gorgeous energy. And softening, releasing it into those hip flexors. Breathing. And softening. Coming onto the outside edge of that back foot, heel to arch alignment, straighten this front leg, reach this top hand high, Trikonasana. Inhale and exhale. Straight spine, shoulder blades down the back. And release, push into the front big toe, this knee, rise on up. Star pose, so good. Fingertips come to touch up overhead on our next inhale. Feet in and hands back to heart center. Place our thumb on our sternum and just find that connection to the breath. Notice the sensations in the body. And find that same balance we did in our mountain pose. Press into our big toes, spread our little toes. Activate our kneecaps, tuck our tailbone under. Send our shoulder blades down the back and grow tall. When we're ready, we're going to take one big arm circle all together, up overhead, fingertips touch. And exhale, come into our star pose. Inhale, we're going to come into our warrior 1 feet, hands on our hips, heel to heel alignment, turn to the left, the short edge of your mat. Inhale, find length here. And exhale, bend this front knee. You might take your stance a little bit wider into our warrior 1 legs. So inhale, I want us to just really align our center here. Tuck our tailbone under, find length, and soften. Inhale, and exhale. When you're ready, send the hands high, the legs are active, the kneecaps are squeezed, the glutes are on, the hips are even. And the upper carriage allows you to soften, so the shoulder blades melt down the back. You might take a slight back bend here, reaching the fingers towards the back of the room, opening up the gaze towards the sky. And breathe. When you're ready, straighten this front leg, squeeze the kneecaps. Now, options here, you can place these hands on your hips, or you can fold forward here, hinging at the hips, taking the hands onto blocks, or reaching towards the ground. Inhale, find length in the spine, pulling this hip back and softening. Lengthen the spine, gaze goes past that big toe if that feels good for you, and softening. Reach and soften. Once more, reach and soften. Now we're going to come up onto our fingertips and try and really activate the core. Find a lot of length in the spine here. We're going to place this right hand on our left thigh. I think that's right. If it's wrong, sorry guys. Place the right hand or the front hand on our left calf or thigh. And we're going to reach this back hand. So we're twisting, opening to the side of the room, reaching our left hand high. Finding length and revolving. Finding length and revolving. Finding length once more, and then place this hand back down. We're going to reach this front hand, reach our right hand up, coming back into our star pose. And just softening, so bend the knees coming into our goddess pose. We're just going to rock side to side here a bit, really getting into the hip joints, noticing what we've brought up today, and just settle. So knees are out, we're pressing into the big toes, the calves and the inner thighs are on. Shoulder blades are down the back, so you'll often feel like you're leaning forward. Here, I want us to lean back. Imagine we're sitting wide-legged on a chair. Your hands can be on your thighs, your knees, or bring your hands to heart center. And just breathe here for 10 beautiful deep breaths. Inhale, finding length. And exhale, just find stillness in center and strength. Inhale. And exhale. Notice the connection to the earth, the connection to the air around you, the elements playing in your body, earth, fire, air, water, all coming together to make this awesome, energetic being that is you. One more big, beautiful inhale. And exhale, we're going to lengthen the legs, send the hands up. And release the hands down beside the body. Inhale, one more. And exhale. And our next inhale, we're going to come into our warrior feet on the other side. So heel to heel alignment. Hips square off to the other side. Lengthen here. And exhale, bend this front knee, knee to ankle alignment. Make sure we can see our big toes, that knee isn't tracking in. Our hips are pulling forward and back so they're aligned. And breathe here, find the stability, activate this back kneecap, squeeze this back glute, tuck our tailbone under, find length, hollow out the lower belly, and breathe. And you might be here, and this is such a great balancing pose. It helps all of these little connective muscles and our balance in our hips. So just find where feels good for you. And if you're feeling stable, take the hands up overhead, fingertips touch, and soften the upper carriage. With the legs as strong, the shoulders will melt down the back. The face and gaze is soft, and you might just reach high. You might reach the fingers towards the back of the room, curving this beautiful upper back bend here. Inhale and exhale. Come up, reach the fingers towards the sky, squeeze this front kneecap, lengthen the leg. Now you can place your hands on your hips here, or exhale, fold forward. Hands coming onto blocks or towards the ground into our pyramid pose. Inhale, finding length, and exhale, softening. Inhale, finding length, and exhale, softening. Inhale once more. Just find your comfy place. You might walk the hands out past the big toes. You might be able to get that forehead a little bit closer towards your shin. You might, for a deeper stretch, send your gaze past your big toes towards your fingertips, and you'll feel that deeper stretch in the hamstring. Square off the hips a little bit more. Tuck that hip under so we're not sticking that glute out. Draw that back hip forward and that forward hip back so they're still in alignment. If you try and do that, just imagine pulling or squaring off the hips. You'll feel that deeper stretch in that intention. And breathe. Then we're going to come into our twisted triangle here. So we're going to take this front hand onto our shin or onto our calf or onto our knee, wherever we can get it. I'm going to reach this back hand towards the sky. Shoulder blades are down the back. Really balance here. Ground down through the feet. Find length. It's such a dynamic pose, and revolve. So our gaze might be towards the floor, our gaze might be towards the side of the room or towards our top fingertips. So just find where feels good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to send this top hand down, this front hand up. Open up, open up, and sink into our goddess. So just really work into the hips once more. You might get a little bit lower this time. Take the feet a bit wider. Really get into this place of strength and center. Really push into the big toes and send the knees out wide so you can still see the big toes so our knees aren't tracking in. And just breathe here. You might have the hands on the inner thighs. You might just have that energetic feeling here, sending energy there. You might have it on the tops of your knees or your hip flexors. Or you might bring your hands to heart center. And just take 5 deep, beautiful breaths here. When we're ready, we're going to lengthen the legs, squeeze the knees. Take our hands high, one last beautiful, beautiful star pose. I want you to be comfortable taking up space. Be comfortable being a little bit loud, doing like, I am here, I am worthy, and I'm allowed to have an opinion. I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to step on my mat. I'm allowed to say what I need to say. So let's practice taking up space, being confident and comfortable in the space we're in today. One more big, beautiful inhale. Open up, reach. And exhale, just let the hands come beside the body. The feet gently come back into center. Palms forward, find our mountain pose and breathe. Well, when we're ready, we're going to come into a yogic squat. So not as wide as our other squat that we were doing. So just take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Tuck the tailbone under. Send the knees, and you might just be here. This might be where you're energetically playing today, just with the intention of sitting down. Or you might be able to send the tailbone quite away towards the earth. And you might find that you're up on your pinkies with the hands in front of pinkies, little toes, there we go, our hands in front of us. Or we might be sinking the heels down. We might be sitting on a block or two. That's really helpful to just take some weight and load off our hip joints, getting used to the motion. Now, your hands can be in front if you're on your toes. If the heels are down, bring the hands to heart center. Send the shoulder blades down the back and tuck the tailbone under. Hollow out the lower belly. So we're gaining length in the spine here. Shoulder blades melt down the back so there's not lack of space in the neck, and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale once more. And soften. Now we're going to take a little twist, completely optional. Don't have to do it. So you can send your left hand down if you want to. Send the right hand high and just revolve the chest. Shoulder blades are down the back. And breathe, opening up to the side of the room. Another optional extra is to reach this top hand behind. You can grab that thigh, or you can wrap this bottom hand around and kind of meet the fingertips together, coming into a bind. And you might be like, oh, it's not happening, Melody. No way on earth. That's fine, guys. It's just a progression. There is nothing worse or better about this pose. Inhale, revolve, wherever we are. Just creating space, sending the shoulder blades down the back and softening. Inhale and exhale. Inhale once more. Release the hands, come back to center. Find length. So good. Now we're going to send this other hand down. So whatever hand you had up last time, send it down. Reach that bottom hand, that top hand to the sky. And same thing, send the shoulder blades down the back. And you might find that you're much more open on this side than the other. Just play. You might send those fingertips back. See if you can reach around. You might send that gaze over that back shoulder. Just find what feels good. And when you're ready, release the hands. We'll place our fingertips in front of us and oh so glamorously roll them back. Super easy. Send one leg wide, then the other. So we're doing lots of wide-legged stances today. So we're going to do a nice wide-legged stretch as well. And just press into the heels here, turning the toes and the thighs out so we're not tracking in. You know, you can do this with bent legs. We might have the knees super bent, but still turning the knees out, and you'll feel this activation in the inner thighs. So inhale, find length here, toes flex towards our face, and soften. Now, if this is really uncomfortable for you still, you can grab a block or a pillow and elevate the hips. Inhale and exhale. So when we're kind of settled into the pose, we're going to find length in the spine and walk forward with a straight spine, feeling this stretch in the inner thighs. Inhale, find length. You might just lean forward a millimeter. It might just be the sensation of leaning forward. Or you might walk the hands quite a way forward, resting the arms or even the forehead on the earth. Still sending the kneecaps down, the toes flex towards the face so you can find that activity, and you'll find a deeper stretch just by doing that motion. Inhale, find that length and soften. Find that length and soften. Find that length and release. So nice. Walk the hands up. So good. We're going to bring, I'll turn this way so you can see me, but you stay where you are. Bring one foot straight in front of you and then the other. Our hands are going to go behind us. Our fingertips turn towards our body. Squeeze our biceps towards one another. Melt the shoulder blades down the back. Now, if you can, press into your heels. Otherwise, you can bend the knees and come up into reverse tabletop. We're going to come up into reverse plank as an option then. So inhale, find length, and exhale, send the hips up, shoulder blades down the back, and breathe here, pressing into all 5 fingertips, not dumping weight into our wrists. And wherever we are, we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. So good. Walk our feet in. We're all going to turn onto our mats long ways now and roll on down vertebra by vertebra. Super cozy. And just move the mic so you can hear me, sorry. And just relax onto the mat. So nice. Feel that connection of the lower back to the earth and just observe what's going on for you here. You might even get the heels of the hands and gently press against the thighs or the tops of the thighs where they join with your hips. And just press away there. Give yourself a nice little massage. Notice what's going on. Bring one knee slowly into your chest, placing your hand on the top of your knee and then the other. And just give your lower back a nice massage. Rocking side to side. Just massaging out any last niggles, any last tension. And come to stillness wherever you are. Place the soles of the feet on the ground, send the arms out wide and just send the knees one way, gaze towards the opposite fingers. And in your own time, come back to center, knees the other way, gaze to the opposite fingers. So just windscreen wiping the knees here, nice gentle spinal twist, nothing too crazy after all we've done today. Just creating gentle mobility, movement and healing in our body. It's not always the most difficult poses that actually create the greatest change. The act of softening, act of letting go, that persistent act of just gentle massage in one area on a regular basis allows it to release and allows your whole body to reconstruct its alignment in a way that may feel more natural and beneficial to your body. So just observe, be gentle. And when we're ready, we'll all come back to center. feet and soles of the feet, together, knees out wide. And just have the arms wide here. You might place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. You might place both hands on your belly. Just find what feels really relaxing for you today. We'll stay here for our Savasana today. So just find your connection to that rise and fall of your breath. Inhale, fill the belly, ribs, the collarbones. And exhale, melt any last tension into the earth below. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Just observe the breath. Notice how it's checking in for you now at the end of class today. Is it short and long, deep or shallow? Don't try and change it, just observe what is. Notice how your body is showing up for you on the mat right now. Just take some time to be open to any signals it's sending your way. Any differences side to side. Any tension, tightness, niggles, pressure. Just observe the rise and fall of your breath. And just start to soften. Allow the limbs, the body, the mind to become heavy and just release and let go further into the mat. When you're ready, super gently bring the knees together. A couple of options. You can roll on up in the massaging the spine into seated. Or just make your way over onto a side that suits you. You might use your arm as a pillow. And come on up into a seated position. Take your time, get comfy. And breathe. One big arm circle all together, up overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. Place your thumb on your sternum, bow your head and say thank you to yourself for showing up on your mat today. Taking time to create space in your body. Create space in your breath and a bit of space in your mind. Sending you lots of love and gratitude, beautiful yogis. Namaste.